Hello everyone. Today we are doing the review of part 1. So it's part 1's review, and we're going to read the introduction before starting into the review lessons, okay? So review 1, introduction. Beginning with today, we will have a series of review periods. Each of them will cover 5 of the ideas already presented, starting with the first and ending with the 50th. There will be a few short comments after each of the ideas, which you should consider in your review. In the practice periods, the exercises should be done as follows. Begin the day by reading the 5 ideas with the comments included. Thereafter, it is not necessary to follow any particular order in considering them, though each one should be practiced at least once. Devote 2 minutes or more to each practice period, thinking about the idea and the related comments after reading them over. Do this as often as possible during the day. If any one of the 5 ideas appeals to you more than the others, concentrate on that one. At the end of the day, however, be sure to review all of them once more. It is not necessary to cover the comments that follow each idea either literally or thoroughly in the practice periods. Try rather to emphasize the central point and think about it as part of your review of the idea to which it relates. After you have read the idea and the related comments, the exercises should be done with your eyes closed, and when you are alone in a quiet place, if possible. This is emphasized for practice periods at your stage of learning. It will be necessary, however, that you learn to require no special settings in which to apply what you have learned. You will need your learning most in situations that appear to be upsetting, rather than in those that already seem to be calm and quiet. The purpose of your learning is to enable you to bring the quiet with you and to heal distress and turmoil. This is not done by avoiding them and seeking a haven of isolation for yourself. Okay, I need to interject here, folks. What it is talking about in this paragraph here is that you are being taught how to reach that quiet place, that when you are in a situation that has a lot of turmoil going on around you and within you, for you to be able to bring forth that calmness by recognizing that turmoil as being something that is not of Holy Spirit. And in those moments, you will turn around and say, okay, Holy Spirit, something's not right here. What is it that I'm misperceiving? What is it you would have me see in all of this? What is the truth? And it is by learning how to go within and look at these turmoil situations now in peace and quiet, that as you are learning to start looking at this stuff, you will then turn around and go within when it's there in front of you in that instant. My husband and I have both shared how when we went to the Community Miracle Center here in San Francisco, how we had moments of feeling a turmoil inside or a recognition of someone else's angst and animosity based on our sharing and our form of sharing being direct and sharing from our own personal experiences. So when those things happened, we had no time but that exact moment to actually look at it. In everything, Holy Spirit keeps telling me, there is no time like the present, this present moment. As soon as I am experiencing something, to look at it and ask for the correction. And in doing so, I see what it is that I'm experiencing for what it truly is, my own misperception. When I am feeling the excess emotions going on in the people around me, it is for me to look at that and to ask, what is it that I'm experiencing here? What is it that I'm seeing here when these things are happening? And in those moments, he shows me what it is that they are thinking, feeling, and experiencing. And why it is they are having that inner turmoil. Why it is he is showing it to me. And, I've talked about being empathic, folks. I don't have a choice in it. My husband is just as empathic as I am. He does not have a choice in it. He sees what he sees. He gets shown what he's getting shown, just as I am. And we do not get a choice in it. He shows us what he wants us to see. And we ask, what is it that you would have us understand in this? What is it that we are perceiving here? What is the truth? And every time we are shown it, without exception. In this last sentence here, he says, this is not done by avoiding them and seeking a haven of isolation for yourself. Prime example of this, there's a woman that we've been having a dialogue with, and she keeps denying what the words of Jesus is saying in here, based off of the fact that in the introduction it says it is a theoretical. And because it says it's theoretical, made to help make the lessons, the workbook lessons, meaningful is the words that are used. And because it says that, she is interpreting it to mean that it's all theory. There's no truth in any of it. Well, folks, I'm here to tell you, there's absolute truth in all of it, without exception. Every lesson is meaningful. Every lesson has purpose, without exception. Even these review lessons is to bring back into mind, as you have been going through each of these things, how they are all connected. Think about that for a moment. I keep saying that he has had me play a game called Connect the Dots. Connecting what my thoughts are to my emotional feelings, which are also connected to my physical feelings in my body, how my body responds to my emotional responses and my mental thoughts. All of them are connected. And those are all connected to what I believe to be true. And because of that, I have learned that everything is connected. And when you are looking at these lessons and reviewing them, you will see how each of them are interconnected. And as you go through them, you will see how each of them are taking you step by step into yourself to see the truth. There is nothing but truth in all of this. And it's all about what it is we are going to do here. If we are going to go within to Holy Spirit, as he keeps asking us to, Jesus keeps asking us to in here, or are we going to keep going with our egoic beliefs? We keep running into these folks that are having these retreats in these conferences and everything else where they're saying, oh, you have to pay us this much. It's not just for renting the hall. It is also for paying the speakers to speak. So why are you going to be paying somebody else to tell you what they think the book is saying? Why are you going to pay somebody else to tell you that they know the way? You need to follow them. You need to pay them for them to tell you how to do it. That's egoic, folks. Think about that. That is an egoic belief system there. They are enlightened egos. Every single time I speak to you and I share with you from what I am being shown to be truth, I give it freely because I recognize that in giving it freely to you with no expectation of return, that I will get it back. It will be shown to me as truth again and again and again. In everything, I will be supported. I do not need to sit here and tell you, oh, pay me, and I'll tell you how to do it. That is not what I am being told to do here. I've actually been getting told that there is nothing wrong with me accepting donations given freely. For me to say, if this resonates with you, and you would like to help contribute to us continuing making videos like this, and maybe setting up things to do a Ustream, where we can have dialogue with everyone, and open up a dialogue about what these lessons are talking about, so many people can join in, then please donate to us, because this is something that we have been talking about possibly doing. And things like that does take good equipment. It does take good internet connections, and it takes good computers and all kinds of stuff. Now, my husband and I are in the computer repair industry, and these are things that we are being guided to do. But we recognize that we are being supported to be able to pay our bills. Anything extra at this point has not been there. And we recognize that if he is going to have us doing these videos and doing these other things that he is showing us is possible, like I said, with the Ustream and so forth, so it's a live video feed where we can interact in real time. Those kinds of things can and are possible. But as I said, it takes money. So it's things of that nature that he's showing that we can say, if you feel like donating so we can be able to do things of that nature, if what we are talking about and how we are discussing this stuff resonates with you and you want to see more of it, then please feel free to extend what you feel guided to do. And it's things of that nature. You know, we are looking for and trying to research how to do this stuff. And people that have experience in this kind of stuff with videography and whatnot, hearing from you about the information that you know is always helpful. And it's things of that nature of reaching out to other people and asking them to not just donate money, but donate their knowledge and understanding. to share what you've received freely, with no expectations coming from it. And this is the kind of stuff that I keep talking about, and this is the kind of stuff that he's talking about. And, you know, that last sentence, it tells you, you know, you can't make your own choices and decisions in any of this stuff. You have to do the work. You have to go within and ask. And in everything, you will be shown the truth. But you got to be willing to go in. All right, I'm going to continue on with paragraph 5. You will yet learn that peace is part of you and requires only that you be there to embrace any situation in which you are. And finally, you will learn that there is no limit to where you are, so that your peace is everywhere as you are. You will note that, for review purposes, some of the ideas are not given in quite their original form. Use them as they are given here. It is not necessary to return to the original statements, nor to apply the ideas as was suggested then. We are now emphasizing the relationships among the first 50 of the ideas we have covered, and the cohesiveness of the thought system to which they are leading you. And see, folks, that's what I was talking about here just a few moments ago. That all of this is showing you how they are all connectedness, how they are cohesive in their purpose, in their meaning. And you can't pick and choose what it is it's telling you. You have to go within and seriously ask, and then listen for the truth. Listen for the inner voice. That inner voice will tell you the truth of what it is you are perceiving, misperceiving. All of it. That was the Review 1 introduction. The workbook, folks, is broken up into sections. 50 lessons per section, to give you an idea. So you figure there's 365 lessons, so that's like 4 or 5 sections, I'm guessing? No. Six or 7. I think like 7. 7 sections. I had to do the math in my head for a moment. I really had to think about that. So that, as I said, is the first review, introduction. And now let's go ahead on to the lesson, which is lesson 51. The review for today covers the following ideas. 1. Nothing I see means anything. The reason this is so is that I see nothing, and nothing has no meaning. It is necessary that I recognize this, that I may learn to see. What I think I see now is taking the place of vision. I must let it go by realizing it has no meaning, so that vision may take its place. And folks, that is talking about letting go of your egoic beliefs that you have been putting forth as being the truth, as being the meaning of everything that exists around you, including yourself. And in doing so, in going within and asking Holy Spirit for these truths, He shows you the truth of all of this. He will give you the truth of your existence, why you are here, what your purpose is. And He will show you His vision in place of your own. So you are no longer projecting out your egoic beliefs, but instead you are seeing the truth of what he is showing you. So you are then extending out those truths to your brothers, and thereby receiving them once again for yourself. Continuing on. 2. I have given what I see all the meaning it has for me. I have judged everything I look upon, and it is this and only this I see. This is not vision. It is merely an illusion of reality because my judgments have been made quite apart from reality. I am willing to recognize the lack of validity in my judgments because I want to see. My judgments have hurt me, and I do not want to see according to them. Okay, just as I was saying a moment ago, we project out everything we believe in to be true, and everything we have been taught to believe is truth are judgments and opinions based off of somebody else's fears, shame, guilt, pain, and suffering. This is what we have been taught to believe to be truth, to believe defines us and defines the world around us. We do it blindly without question. We mimic what we are shown. We mimic the adults around us. We mimic our peers. We mimic the things we see without questioning it. We do it blindly. We follow blindly. And this is what it is talking about here. Everything we think we see and believe are judgments, which means they are false and they are lies. So the only meaning any of it has is the meaning you give to it, based off of what it is you are believing to be true. And it's the same with our words. We have the dictionary's meaning of it, and then we have our own personal meaning for it. And that own personal meaning we have is not just from our own thoughts and beliefs, but we also attach to those words an emotional attachment to it, based off of what we have experienced in regards to that word, which is why we give it the personal meaning that we do. And those are all interconnected as well. And when you're like me and empathic, you are able to see all of that when someone says it verbally, when they write it out. It's how a lot of actors are able to interpret the true emotion behind the written lines that they are reading. They feel it on their basic level. It's an instinctual knowing, of an empathic seeing the truth of what is being conveyed. And they do it unknowingly. And sometimes they do it knowingly. It's how I have been able to do a lot of the things that I do. When I see someone saying something, I see more than just what's on the surface. I see the truth of their intent behind it, the meanings they have put on everything, and he shows me so much more underneath it. Sometimes I get visual pictures of understanding as well, as a dialogue happening. So in everything, I have been learning to turn within and ask him the truth of these things that I'm perceiving of my brothers, and what it is I perceive of what I'm reading when they're writing it. And he shows me the truth every time. And I've let go of my own personal judgments of all of it. I go with what he is showing me, and only that. And so that there is telling us that we give everything the meaning it has. Continuing. 3. I do not understand anything I see. How could I understand what I see when I have judged it amiss? What I see is the projection of my own errors of thought. I do not understand what I see because it is not understandable. There is no sense in trying to understand it, but there is every reason to let it go and make room for what can be seen and understood and loved. I can exchange what I see now for this merely by being willing to do so. Is not this a better choice than the one I made before? Okay, so what that's talking about, folks, is basically right back to what I was just speaking of a moment ago, that because you have judged everything and based on your own beliefs of the things that you have been taught, you cannot have any true understanding of everything that you are seeing out there and thinking and believing to be true. Until you are able to heal yourself, there is no way you can extend that truth to your brothers. And I am telling you this based off of my own truth and experience, that until I was able to physically heal my body of the diseases that I was told I had by my doctors, and heal my mind of the things that I was thinking and believing to be true based off of all of the judgments that were handed over to me since the moment of my birth, that until I saw how each of them were connected one to the other, the diseases with my beliefs, that my thoughts and my beliefs were connected to my emotional responses, and my emotional responses were connected to my physical body's responses. So in that way, I found out that everything was connected one to the other, that I was doing it all to myself with what I was believing to be true. And when I started asking questions like, how is this possible? That is how I was shown, is by asking. And I had to understand it, because I could understand the truth of what these other teachers were misperceiving every time I asked. That they weren't going in and looking at these things that they are holding forth as being their core beliefs. They have only been looking at this as a way to make money for themselves. They get an understanding of this concept or that concept, but they don't really put it to work. They get an egoic understanding of it, and they just run with that. They don't do the work to look at what it is that their core beliefs are. And every time I hear about these teachers getting diseases like cancer and diabetes and all these other things, I am being told it is because they are unwilling to do the work. That is what I keep getting told. That when they are giving up the body and dying, it's because they have not willingly done all the work. They are just going to have to come back and continue in another body. That they gave up on the process because they let their ego lead them. by not willingly looking at their core beliefs. It's why in the Bible it says, "Healer, heal thyself." And I have come to understand that until I heal myself, I can't heal anybody else. I can't help anybody else heal themselves either. I had to heal my own mind, my own thoughts, and my own body. Once I did that, then I was able to extend it. So I had no understanding until I chose to look. And ask for his vision. Until you ask for his vision, you won't be able to see the truth, folks. All right. Continuing on with 4. 4. These thoughts do not mean anything. We're going to go back into what I was just talking about. I love this. The thoughts of which I am aware do not mean anything because I am trying to think without God. What I call my thoughts are not my real thoughts. My real thoughts are the thoughts I think with God. I am not aware of them because I have made my thoughts to take their place. I am willing to recognize that my thoughts do not mean anything and to let them go. I choose to have them be replaced by what they were intended to replace. My thoughts are meaningless, but all creation lies in the thoughts I think with God. So, once again, folks, it's just like I was just talking about. Everything that we think we know and believe to be true has been taught to us by someone else. And everything that they were taught to believe was taught to them and the people that taught them and the people that taught them. And this goes back throughout history. It's a pattern that is repeated. It's a process that's repeated over and over and over without anyone stopping to say, wait, why am I believing this? Why am I doing this? They just continue to believe it because they are shamed into it. They are guilted into it. They are made to have pain and suffering through it if they don't conform to someone else's dictates. This is what we are taught in society. This is our egoic beliefs at play in here. And when you start looking at your thoughts and catching these thoughts that are going through your head, you will recognize that they are absolutely freaking meaningless. They are no more than an egoic belief you have been taught. It is something you are repeating like a parrot that someone else has said. It is something you have read from a book. It is not something that you have gotten from God. So in that way, you need to question everything. This is why he is telling you, go within and look at them and ask, Holy Spirit, what is this I'm looking at? Everything is going within and looking and asking. Don't just look upon it and decide for yourself what it is. You have to ask, Holy Spirit, what is it I'm seeing? So you can see it with his vision, his light of truth. And he can give you the truth of what it is you are perceiving in all of it. This way you can recognize that you have been making your own choice and decisions on what everything's going to be. Just like with the person in the group that we were having that discussion with. She keeps putting her own meaning on everything. She discounts Jesus' words throughout the course as being nothing but a theory. It's like, hello, listen to what it is you are doing here. You either believe all of it or none of it. And you will end up believing all of it when you do the work. Because you will see the facts and the absolute truth of all of it. This is why I keep saying the truth will stand on its own, folks. When you do the work and you go within and you ask, you will be shown the absolute truth of what it is you are doing here. But you got to be willing to do it. All right, let's move on. This is number 5, and this is the last one, okay? For this lesson. 5. I am never upset for the reason I think. I am never upset for the reason I think because I am constantly trying to justify my thoughts. I am constantly trying to make them true. I make all things my enemies, so that my anger is justified and my attacks are warranted. I have not realized how much I have misused everything I see by assigning this role to it. I have done this to defend a thought system that has hurt me and that I no longer want. I am willing to let it go. Okay. I keep saying it, that it is repeating what I have been stating already. And just like with that woman that we've been having this dialogue with, she keeps wanting to go round and round with her ego thought system, and it's wearying. And she keeps discounting everything. We copy-paste what it says exactly in the text, showing her exactly what it is she's saying, quoting her, just like she likes to try and quote us and then twist it to mean what she wants it to mean. And we will take exactly what she's saying and showing her exactly what the text is saying as well. And we tell her, it's not our job to argue with you. It's only our job to show you the absolute truth in correlation to what is being said here. And you can either take it or not. But it's not for us to sit here arguing back and forth and keep going in this egoic circle that you are insistent upon keeping yourself and everyone around you in. We are not to pull you kicking and screaming into the light. That is not our job. And we can only speak the absolute truth here, folks. Being empathic, that is all we can do. We are being shown the absolute truth of what it is our brothers are thinking, seeing, believing, and doing. Of the world they are creating for themselves, based off of their core beliefs. We can only go with what it is that we are shown as being the truth. When we ask and we question everything. And this is what we do. We question everything. We are not trying to make our own choices and decisions on anything. We have learned to stop doing that. Because when we do that, we cause our own pain and suffering. When we do that, we also create illnesses within our own bodies. So we have learned to literally stop doing that. Because I don't know about you, but I don't like being sick from cancer. I don't like having migraines. I don't like having diabetes. I don't like having irritable bowel syndrome. I don't like having stomach cramps and vomiting. Those are the things that I get when I go and try to make choices and decisions with my ego mind. Those are the results I get when I'm seeing and perceiving shit going on with my brothers. If I don't take it to Holy Spirit in that instant and say, okay, Holy Spirit, what is it you're showing me here? What is it that I'm perceiving happening here? If I don't do that instantly, if I just start making my own judgments on everything, I get hit with headaches, I get hit with nausea, stomach cramps, you name it. So I don't do that anymore. I have been shown the truth of that error and how the doing of it is instantaneous sickness. They are connected. All right, folks. This was Workbook Lesson Review 1, Introduction, and Lesson 51, going and reviewing Lessons 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Do the work, folks. Do the work. We can only speak the truth here. It's all I'm being asked to do is speak the absolute truth to you. You can take it or leave it. I extend to you what I have been shown is the absolute truth. And everything that I have been shown through my own personal experiences. This is why he has me using those as examples. Because it's only through my own personal experiences that I can speak of. When I willingly look at them and see the things that I was believing to be true in them. And there's layers to them. When I'm ready to see the next layer, he shows it to me. But I have to be willing to look. All right. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Sabrina Reyenga. This was Lesson 51 and the Part 1 section review. Introduction. I love you. Have a wonderful day. Hugs, love, and light. Blessings. Namaste.